You are Locked On Celtics Postcast, part of Locked On Sports Boston, on the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, the Celtics now up 2-0 in their opening round best-of-7 playoff series against the Orlando Magic. Celtics, second straight game, not trailing at any point in the fourth quarter. In fact, they did not trail after the first quarter and taking game number 2. The storyline, no Jayson Tatum. The storyline, no problem, as Jaylen Brown came up huge for the Celtics. With that, we welcome you into our latest Locked On Celtics postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, longtime basketball play-by-play announcer. Still believe to this day, DJ, Dennis Johnson, and Danny Ainge, underrated and a terrific backcourt for the Celtics during the 1980s. You are locked on with our latest Locked On Celtics playoff postcast, providing reaction to every Celtics playoff game on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Celtics podcast feed, which is free and available wherever you get your podcasts. On our latest Locked On Celtics postcast, we're discussing Jaylen Brown and a terrific third quarter once again for the Celtics. They never trailed at any point against Orlando after the first quarter in the victory. Now, the Celtics, again, second straight game, not shooting a high percentage from three-point land, but getting in the paint, getting buckets. Payton Pritchard, in case you haven't noticed it, he's kind of been bumped up, and they played him physical so far in the series. We do want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the conversation, watching live with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel. Hit that comment and join the conversation. Locked On Celtics playoff postcast presented by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create your account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off on your first purchase. So the Celtics up at halftime by just 3, 50-47. But the Celtics doing a terrific job in the third quarter to extend the lead. Magic scored the first bucket to make it a one-point game. Jaylen Brown, layup up by 4. Brown, doing a terrific job as he helped create a little bit of breathing room as he knocked down a 3, then another 3, and the Celtics up by 7, and then an offensive rebound. Derrick White knocking down another 3. Orlando went on a run 9-2, but Brown 1 of 2 at the free throw line, and then Orlando. This was really the big stretch in the game. And this is something, not only you're going to be talking about a victory for the Celtics, but there was also something else in that third quarter as well that, KP again, the big kid. They call him the unicorn. He's a big kid. We're going to get into that right now.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Orlando had a run to get to within 5. Orlando, a turnover on an offensive rebound. Derrick White with a bucket. The lead back up to 10 at 68-58. Holiday a block. Brown to the rim with the finish, up by 12. And at that point, Jaylen Brown with 23 points. Brown then had a steal and a dunk. And looked like he had a little bit more with his legs. That bone bruise is going to be an issue, but the emphatic dunk, and it's a special night in game 2 for Jaylen Brown without Jayson Tatum, and understood that his team was going to rely on him, and he just all of a sudden went into the phone booth, came back out, had the cape on, and had that dunk after the steal. Celtics up by 14. Brown, another finish at the rim in that third quarter to give him 27 overall, 13 in the third quarter. And then Batazzi, the flagrant foul, flagrant 1, as the elbow came down and hit Kristaps Porzingis square in the forehead. Blood everywhere, as Iron Eagle said on TNT. So Porzingis goes right back to the tunnel, goes to the locker room. They're looking at it on the monitor. Ultimately, they call flagrant foul. So Porzingis 2 free throws and the Celtics with the ball. So Porzingis comes out. They put the great big Band-Aid over his forehead. He's smiling ear to ear. Goes to the free throw line, hits 1 out of 2, comes right back out of the game. Remember, I think it was against Phoenix on the road. Tatum had the sprained ankle, had to take the free throws, then went out, didn't come back. So Porzingis ends up coming back to the bench in the fourth quarter, but blood, basically a streak right down the middle of his head, almost a mohawk. And after that, Pritchard knocks down a 3 to make it a 15-point lead. Celtics knocking down 5 threes in that third quarter, up 81-71, led by as many as 15. Orlando through the first 3 quarters, 2 of 7 in the first quarter on threes, 1 of 6 in the second, 1 of 7 from the three-point line in the third. Fourth quarter, Derrick White a tip in. Big play on a Brown miss to make it 90-79. Black had a three-point play, ran into Pritchard to make it 90-82. Then White hit a three, lead back up to 10 with about 6 to go. And then Brown with a floater, tough shot. As Grant Hill said, good defense, better offense, as he was able to hit the bucket. Magic an empty trip in that fourth quarter. Brown at the line, hit the shot, 31, plus 11 at that point. And then 2 to go. Shot clock violation for the Celtics. Wagner missed on a three. Holiday to Brown for a three. Bingo, 105-94. And the Celtics pick up the Game 2 victory. Now go to Orlando for Game number 3. You have to like it because Tatum not available. Okay. Flagrant foul was upgraded by Kentavious Caldwell-Pope in Game 1. And I didn't necessarily think it was, but, it's not based on the injury. I just didn't think it needed to be elevated. Orlando, again, very physical in Game 2. We're going to get to your comments here in just a moment. If you're with us on the Locked On Sports Boston YouTube channel, hit that comment button. Is it me, or did the Celtics get to a majority? And I'm saying 90+% of loose balls. 50-50 balls, the Celtics were quicker to the ball. Pritchard did it a handful of times. Now, in this game, Joe Mazzulla, Pritchard, Hauser, and Cornette off the bench, that was it. Obviously, the bench is shorter with Al Horford in the starting lineup. Horford knocked down 1 3, ended up with 9 points, 10 rebounds, and had 1 block shot. He was a +6. So again, Porzingis, Horford, a little bit different lineup, but they played with that lineup during the regular season. The Celtics won 8 of the 10 games that Jayson Tatum missed during the regular season. I don't know that you went through the day on Wednesday thinking, oh, no Tatum, this is going to be an issue. No Tatum, no problem for the Celtics because they played extended periods of time during the season without KP. Jaylen Brown missed a couple of stretches. Tatum missed a game here or there, right? Missed 10 games total during the season. Had that sprained ankle, was able to come back quickly. So again, during that season, 32, 33 different starting lineups in 82 regular season games, that did serve the Celtics. That's serving the Celtics well because the moment's not too big. And I think Joe Mazzulla at some point will go through and maybe go a little bit deeper on the bench. Curious to see when that happens. But you're now up 2-0 in the series. I do believe it goes 5. I think Orlando either gets Game 3 or Game 4. But if the Celtics take Game 3, go for the jugular and finish it off in a sweep and just wait around. Wait around for your next opponent. Detroit or New York, that series is right now tied at 1-1. The real Darrell, that is what you call a team win. 100%. And just, more talent. Banchero's terrific. Wagner, tough night shooting. Wendell Carter Jr., I like him. I think he could be more. But there's not a whole heck of a lot right now from the rest of the Orlando Magic. 11 points for Anthony Black, 4 of 8 from the field. They went 7 of 29 on the three-point line. The Celtics knocked down 12 threes, 12 of 37. But again, well below their season average in terms of makes on the three-point line and attempts as well. 45%, and Orlando actually outshot the Celtics 47.6 to 45% overall. But a team win, as the real Darrell says right off the top. PK tattoos. Orlando went from physical to dirty very quickly. Big Al and JB showing up. They're teetering. PK tattoos, I think they're teetering. And the Celtics in the next 2 games, Batazzi did not do it on purpose. That's just a big physical play. Dangerous? Yes. Dirty? Borderline. But with the blood and everything, that elbow came right down on Porzingis. NBA players play that way. You've played pickup ball. I haven't done it in a real long time, and I never would have been that guy with, crazy elbows and swinging the elbows. But Tazi is that guy. Remember, he was ejected during the regular season in a matchup in Orlando and was waving at the Celtics bench and realizing all of a sudden he had to be told, hey, you're the ones out of here. So just don't allow this to go. If this ends up going 5 or 6 games, it's going to, there's a skirmish. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Al Horford. Al Horford was outspoken after Game 1. There's one way to play physical, and as PK Tattoo said, there's a fine line between physical and dirty. And if you don't play a physical style of basketball, you may cross the line from time to time. It's almost like a pitcher in baseball trying to throw inside. There's an art to it. You can be physical without being dirty. They are borderline right now through the first two games. And Horford, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, he was called for a common foul. They got tripped up in transition. They both went to the floor. But you could already see it teetering there, right? They're both on edge. Both sides are on edge. And Al Horford, the veteran, is just not going to allow those things over the course to him or any of his teammates as well. But you just want cooler heads to prevail. You don't want a one-game suspension. You don't want it elevating to another level because we know in the playoffs it can happen quickly. Pascal, love that win, especially after the last game. Guess Jaylen's knee is fine. I don't know that it's fine, but he's managing it. He had the 2 days off between game 1 and game 2. Now on to Orlando. You've got a day off between now and game 3 Friday, and then just one single day off between game 3 and game 4 in Orlando Friday, and then again Sunday night as well. Both of those are going to be 7 Eastern start time. So you do get, you're not playing at noon or 1 o'clock. You do get those extra couple of hours. And those count for a lot right now. They really do. Mike, Brown stepping up big time. Joseph, KP, Boston legend. He's certainly becoming that. He really is. If Porzingis can have a healthy and productive, now he hasn't shot well from the field the first 2 games, but got to the line a ton and was 10 of 14, I think, from the free throw line. But if KP can go through this entire run to a second straight NBA Finals and maybe a second straight NBA title, and he's more prolific than he was a year ago, he's found a home. How it works out in the future, don't care. We'll talk about the summer during the summer, and that's John Corrales and what he does with Locked On Celtics. Does a terrific job. What happens in the future, we're not worried about that. Present day, going for a second straight NBA title and 19th in franchise history. But right now, the way it's going, and yeah, it's Porzingis is kind of becoming that guy. He's embraced it. And, coming back out onto the floor initially with blood on the forehead, blood down the middle of his head as well, and then going back to the locker room and coming out in the fourth quarter. Yeah, that's, there's a smile on his face. I'm sure he went back there and looked at the video, but that was immediately. He's on his back and it's just blood. Iron Eagle, Grant Hill, you're in Boston and you're bringing up Rocky references from Philly. I love Rocky. I'm a huge Rocky guy all the way through, the Creed movies and everything. But yeah, that was sort of a Balboa moment as he comes out and he's bloodied. Pascal, how difficult will it be to trade KP? The fans absolutely love the guy. Yeah, again, leave that to John Corrales, Locked On Celtics during the offseason, which you hope doesn't come until after the NBA Finals and a second straight NBA title. Keep the comments coming. We'll get into numbers of the night, look ahead to Game 3, but right now, no Jayson Tatum. And it might happen again. Maybe not in this series. I would think Tatum plays on Friday. We'll see. But right now, you're up 2-0. You've got a chance to really stomp Orlando out in the next 2 games. But at some point, second round, Eastern Conference Finals, maybe even the NBA Finals, you may be without Jaylen Brown or a game or 2. The Celtics know within the team that they can win no matter what the starting lineup and who's available. The next man up mentality doesn't matter who the leading scorer is. But on Wednesday in Game 2, Jaylen Brown came up huge for the Boston Celtics, and we love to see it. Locked On Celtics playoff postcast. Yes, we've added the playoff in there. Locked On Sports Boston, your team every day. This Locked On Celtics postcast is presented by Game Time. There's nothing like the atmosphere of an NBA playoff game. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena, and with Game Time, you can be part of it without the stress of the last-minute ticket hunting. Game Time makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when demand is sky high. Prices on the app actually go down as tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Here's why you are going to want and love using Game Time. Last-minute deals save, again, up to 60% off buying last minute for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, more and more. The all-in pricing means no surprise fees at checkout. What you see is what you're going to pay. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create your account, use code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off on your first purchase. Terms to apply. Again, create your account, redeem code LOCKEDONNBA, $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last-minute tickets and lowest price guaranteed. Locked On Celtics Postcast, also presented by Amazon Fire TV. Did you know your Fire TV is also an Xbox? Turn any TV into your gaming and entertainment hub with Fire Stick TV 4K devices. No console required. Just grab your paired controller, subscribe or sign into Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles from EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty, Black Ops 6, and Avowed as well, as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. With 4K streaming, watch more than 1.5 million movies and TV episodes from your favorite subscribed services like Netflix, Prime Video, Disney+, Max, and many more. Play high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost on a console. Already have a console? Well, a Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with, allowing you to take your device with you, with your kids, wherever you are going to plug in. Head to Amazon.com/Fire TV Lockdown to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K second generation, Fire TV Stick 4K Max first and second generation, and Fire TV Cube third generation. Talking about the Celtics' victory in game number 2 of their best-of-7 first-round Eastern Conference playoff series against the Orlando Magic, 2-0 lead. Orlando actually scoring 29 points, outscored the Celtics 29-28 in the fourth quarter. Celtics win 109-100. A little bit different for me than the regular season. Was I rooting for them to be held below 100 points for a second straight game? Yes. They got a bucket late. Ian Eagle and Grant Hill saying, well, they're playing late right to the buzzer. Well, it didn't seem like they played – the fourth quarter early on, they didn't play with urgency in that fourth quarter. And the Celtics, again, Orlando made a run. It's the NBA. Everybody makes runs. Orlando made a little mini run there in the fourth quarter. The Celtics really never blinked, showed the poise, showed the resolve. And, again, that's what you're expecting. But a strong third quarter for the Celtics, outscoring Orlando 31-24. And, again, trailed by 1 in the first quarter. There were 10 lead changes and 4 ties in this game. Numbers of the night here in segment number 2. Let that creep in for a second. 10 lead changes, 4 ties. All of that happened in the first quarter. There was not a single lead change after the first quarter. Celtics led by as many as 11 in the second, led by 15 in the third, and led by 13 in the fourth quarter. End up winning by 9. But Orlando never led at any point after the first quarter. They have not led at any point in the fourth quarter over the first 2 games as well. Jaylen Brown, 41, almost 42 minutes, 12 of 19 from the field. 5 3-pointers, 5 of 7 on the three-point line. How many times during the regular season did you read Jaylen Brown is just not shooting at a high percentage from the three-point line? He's really struggled from the three-point line. Knocked down 5 of 7. And also 7 of 8 at the free throw line. Orlando got back into the game. Celtics had a huge advantage in the first 2 quarters at the free throw line. Orlando actually got to the line more in the second half. But the Celtics were 18 of 23 at the line in the first half compared to just 6 of 10 for Orlando. And the Magic, not a huge three-point shooting team. So those numbers, I bring up free throws simply, again, it's a playoff series, so a lot more important. But they didn't establish going inside. Now, they had some dunks and impressive dunks along the way. A lot of 9.5s in there. But just interesting how, again, overall, a fine number of free throw attempts. It still wasn't overall that close. 24-33. So the Celtics had 33 free throw attempts compared to 24 for Orlando. But a lot of those, again, in the second half. Back to your comments we go. Fat Man Olympics checking in. Do you think they will sweep? I don't always want to call for it. Hey, you can't sweep unless you win the first two. You can't sweep unless you win the first three. I think, ask me that after game 3 and they're up 3-0, I would say yes. Orlando going home, down 2-0 in the series. Orlando, that arena is going to be electric. Now, it certainly did not come in game 1. It really didn't come in game 2. Banchero and Wagner need help. It's been fun watching Banchero. And again, almost shooting 50% from the field overall, 12 of 25, 32 points. So his second straight game with 30 or more. But Wagner just 1 of 7 on the three-point line. And again, Wendell Clark Jr., 16 points. Black with 11 off the bench. But Cole Anthony, playing just over 5 minutes, did not score at just 1 shot attempt. He's had big games against the Celtics. He's had big games where he's their leading scorer. Has not happened so far in the series. I do think you're going to see more from Orlando in game 3. And it may come down to the final 2 minutes. But the Celtics, with 2 minutes to go, had it in hand. Orlando finally pushed the panic button. There was urgency, but they fall short. So I'm not trying to work around it. I just don't know. I don't want to call for a sweep. You go up 3-0, yeah, I want the sweep. Fat Man Olympics. I know that was a roundabout answer right there. I did my best to just go around it. You're up 2-0. Orlando's going to – I would be shocked if Orlando doesn't come out with an absolute sense of urgency, and from the get-go, they might jump out to an early lead, say 12-2, 14-2, something like that in the first quarter. The Celtics, again, will need to show poison. They'll need to knock down threes on the road. I think that could be a big factor for the Celtics. If they can knock down 15 or more threes in game 3, they put themselves in a good place to win game 3, and then they're in the position right there to sweep the series on Sunday with game 4. Archie, JB, no load management tonight. No, it wasn't. And Tatum was ruled doubtful on Tuesday, ruled out 2 hours before the game. I'm sure his teammates knew that he was out before it was actually released to the media on the injury report. I'm sure they probably had a good idea. Hey, I'm not a go tonight. No Tatum. And Brown, I'm sure, probably came to the gym, to TD Garden, thinking, tonight I got to step up in a big way. And he did. Huge. No load management, 40, over 40 minutes. And that's going to be in the playoffs as well. Fat Man again, player of the game, KP. Defensive presence is a key. So let's get into, I should have read that first. We'll do this right now.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I don't really want to. Fat Man Olympics. You know what? I will give it to you. Brown, terrific. Leading scorer for both teams. But defensively, they're getting after it. Holiday, White, game 1, showed some different looks defensively against Banchero, but just a terrific score. And again, this guy is going to – I do believe this guy has already made tremendous strides to be a legit NBA star. I still think there's room to grow. He's got more to his ceiling. So get him now, right? Fat Man will go KP. Defensive. And, he gives you the chuckle and he gives you the Rocky Balboa moment. I won't reference Rocky Balboa again for Boston fans. The Real Darrell, game 3, all business for the Celtics. We'll find out Friday night. We will. Game 3 of the series. Playoff series never gets underway until the home team loses. The Celtics hold serve in winning the first 2 games. And again, just enough to win. And more than just enough. 31 points in that third quarter. And again, never trailed. That's huge. Never trailed after the first quarter and have not trailed at any point in the fourth quarter so far in this series. The Celtics, again, knocking down 12 threes, 45% from the field, and Jaylen Brown leading the way with 36, one of 5 players in double figures for the Celtics. That's a wrap for us. As always, we do thank you for joining us. Don't forget, tell your friends all about us as we continue with you all the way through the Celtics playoff run and hopefully at the end, a second straight NBA title. Celtics pick up the victory again in game number 2 and do it without Jayson Tatum. Game 3 Friday from Orlando. That game will be nationally televised, I believe, on ESPN. Then they go back to TNT on on Sunday for Game 4. But we'll be on with you within minutes of the final buzzer of Game 3. Hopefully we're talking about the Celtics being up 3-0 in the series. Locked On Sports Boston, number one place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your Celtics, every day.